Hey troop, we have a backpacking camp out coming up. For those of you who have been backpacking before, you know it can be a lot of fun if you do it right. For those of you who haven't been, I'm putting together this gear demonstration so that you know what to bring and what not to bring. Before I get into the gear and everything, there are 3 things you need to know. First off, only take what you need. If you think you need 3 giant chapter books, you're probably wrong. Unless you're York and you think that you can take 3 chapter books. Second, ounces make pounds. If there's any way that you can see in your load that you can make it a little lighter, try to do that, or split something with your buddy. That way you don't have to be miserable walking down that trail. Third, don't panic. A lot of you are going to see this video and think, wow, there's a lot of stuff that I need to go buy at the store. You don't. There's plenty of stuff at home that will make do just fine. These are 3 basic personal items that you're going to want to bring. You have your sleeping gear, your medication, and your mess kit. So for sleeping gear, I usually pack this lightweight sleeping bag, which I believe is like 2 pounds-ish, and my sleeping pad, which has a pillow. So if you don't have a lightweight sleeping bag or a sleeping pad, don't worry about it. A lot of times if the weather's nice, just pack like a lightweight blanket. Or if you need to, a larger sleeping bag is fine. It just might not fit in your bag as well. If you plan on backpacking a lot, I recommend trying to invest in something like this. I got these from birthdays and Christmases, so they're not hard to come by. These are medications. If you have a pill, an inhaler, a cream, or anything like that you know you're going to need, make sure you pack it. Don't forget it. I've gone campouts where I forget my inhaler and have an asthma attack halfway through a hike. It's not fun. Make sure you pack that. And then you have your mess kit, which is good to have because we're going to be eating. So what I usually take, this is my collapsible mess kit, and it actually, if you want a plate, but it punches out if you want a bowl. And then in the lid, as you can see, it has a spork. And then if you're brave enough, this is something you want to do, just pack a mug and a spork. You put your meal in here and then just scrape it out with your spork. Mr. Hamilton, I know, makes his coffee in this after his meal, and then that's how he washes down the mug. If you're brave enough to do that, go ahead. These are some less necessary personal items that you might think about bringing. So you have your notebook. If you're somebody that gets bored easily but likes to draw and write or plan stuff, go ahead and bring a little lightweight notebook to carry around in your pocket. If you know that you're going to be making a stop on the way, you might want to bring some money for a quick snack, or if you're stopping for lunch on the way to your campout, bring some money. I'm the person that always has a watch on him at all times. I recommend wearing a watch, but it's not necessary. So just so that way you know what time it is, what time you're supposed to be getting back, and how fast you're going. I also recommend bringing some trekking poles or even a walking stick if that works easier for you. I got these from Walmart. They were like $10. So a lot of times you can find a good deal on good gear. They actually extend so that they fit in your bag on the way, but they extend so that you can use them on the trip. They make it a little bit lighter. Take some weight off your back. And then this is my chair that I got for my birthday this year. It's actually a 1-pound chair. So I know that I go backpacking pretty often, so I make sure to have this kind of stuff on me. I've asked a lot of people, and many of them recommend bringing a chair if you're going to be backpacking for like a week. If it's just a weekend trip, it's not as necessary, but it definitely is pretty helpful. On the trail, you're going to be drinking lots and lots of water, so you're going to need to make sure that you have multiple bottles in case there's nowhere to fill up. These are the kind of bottles that I would recommend. These are the kind that I wouldn't. Remember, ounces make pounds. If your bottle's a little bit heavier, try not to bring that. This is a like $1 water bottle that you can get at any gas station or any store that you go to. It's super light and carries just about as much water as your normal Nalgene. This is a lighter weight Nalgene, and it's actually cheaper than the original Nalgene. This is something that I recommend just because it's not going to break on you, and it's a lot lighter. This is a normal Nalgene, and of course, if that's what you have, that's fine. It works. But again, this is going to be quite a bit heavier than one of these bottles. And then I definitely don't recommend bringing a metal bottle. That's going to dent, and also it carries less. So make sure that you bring one that you're gonna be okay if it gets a few scratches. Now it's time to talk about clothing. So what you're really gonna wear on a warm or camp out is some light layers that aren't gonna drag you down, like other than a giant hoodie that might weigh you down. So your Scout uniform Class A is actually really lightweight, and a lot of times will have a vent in the back. So personally, I like to wear that. Or you can wear a Class B shirt to kind of represent Troop 201. For your pants, what you're going to want to wear are, I personally like to wear the Scout pants, because if you haven't seen this before, a lot of the kind that they make actually zip off the bottom of the pants and turn into shorts. So when it gets warm, you can just zip off those shorts, and that way you have a pair of pants and a pair of shorts depending on the weather, because let's face it, we live in Oklahoma. You never know what the weather's going to do. So then, if it's going to be a colder camp out, you might want a face mask that you can wear around your neck to cover up the wind. You're going to want a wicker layer, which is a super lightweight, kind of dry material like long johns or leggings that you can wear under your pants, and a wicker shirt that you can wear under your normal shirt. And then your footwear, what you're going to want are some nice hiking boots, because we're doing a lot of walking, so you're not going to want to damage your feet in any way. Your socks, you're going to want some nice wool socks to keep the sweat from getting away. And also inside those socks, if you have any, I like to use dress socks or a wicker layer of socks, which kind of help take the pressure off of your foot when you're walking, so that your foot doesn't slide around as much and the sock takes in that energy. A lot of things that people like to wear if it does get pretty hot is a bandana. You can wear it around your neck, around your face. It works for anything, just to kind of cool you down and get the sweat off yourself. If your troop plans on doing a swimming camp out, for backpacking, make sure you pack some swim trunks. Sometimes your Class A pants actually are swimsuit material, if you have those. If not, go ahead and pack one of these. And gentlemen, if you don't want to wear a shirt, sometimes that's a little easier because that's not extra weight that you have to pack. Also, go ahead and bring a super lightweight towel, or if you think that you're going to have time to dry, that's usually okay, but they do make super lightweight towels, or just a beach towel if that's something that you want to pack. The other thing you're going to want is going to be rain gear, because let's face it, we live in Oklahoma. It probably could rain at some point in time. We're also coming up to the end of March for our camp out, so there's most likely going to be some rain. Make sure you do pack some lighter weight, maybe just a rain jacket. They also make rain pants or a poncho, if that's easier for you. Obviously, one of the biggest parts of backpacking is the backpack. So what I have is a good 50-liter backpack that I got for my birthday a couple years back. But the most important thing you'll find are these waist straps. Well, it's one of the most important things. This is actually going to take a lot of the weight off your shoulders and keep you still moving for long distances. For a lot of you guys that don't have these, a day pack will usually work just fine. The thing about this day pack specifically, it doesn't have those waist straps that are pretty essential, but it does have plenty of room in the pack itself, and it has nice pockets. So a lot of the times a day pack will do just fine for a good weekend backpacking trip. For those of you who don't have either a day pack or an actual backpack, you might just use an old school backpack, which I've done before. This backpack, a lot of them that you'll find will actually have waist straps. This one doesn't. It's kind of an older thing. But don't bring your school backpack that you're going to use for school that you're using right now, because it's probably going to get a little bit beat up on the camp out unless you're really careful with it. So, again, don't panic if you don't have a lot of this stuff. But what you're going to need is a good backpack cover. And this is a rain cover, so this is really lightweight and will cover up the backpack in case of rain or any kind of storm that comes your way, so that nothing inside the bag itself gets wet. For a lot of you guys that don't have this, it's going to be a trash bag, which is super lightweight. You roll it up, stick it inside there, and then it's just fine when you get to the camp because it's going to cover the entire bag. So within every crew on backpacking, you're going to have a buddy, and that buddy you're going to split a lot of your main gear with, such as a first aid kit, a flashlight, your pocket knife, your matches. This has a compass on it and a whistle. One of the best things about this is it combines like 3 or 4 things in one. You have rope, you have a whistle, you have matches, and you have a compass. So it's 4 things in one, and it's a lot lighter weight. So anything you have like this, try to do this instead of 4 separate things that's going to weigh you down. Now, say me and Billy were buddies. I would have this, maybe he would carry the pocket knife, or a small lightweight multi-tool. You're not going to want to bring your big machete pocket knife because that's going to be heavier on you. You want a little lightweight pocket knife. And then you have your sunscreen and bug spray. Now, these are really big bottles, so this might be something, if you were going to bring these, this might be to split between your whole crew, depending on how many people you have. And then, yeah, I might carry the first aid kit, he might carry the flashlight. But you and your buddy are going to be walking together at night, so only one of you needs a flashlight. And then you have, this is a backpacking tent. This is one of our backpacking patrol tents. And it's really light. It may be 2 or 3 pounds. But a lot of times if you have to carry a big tent, like our normal troop tents, somebody might carry the poles and somebody might carry the tarp. And somebody might carry the rain fly. So you split it between whoever's staying in one tent. That way one man doesn't have to carry a giant tent with them. Also, you have your little tiny broom and dustpan in case it gets dirty. This isn't a necessity, though. A lot of times, if the weather's really nice, I prefer to actually hammock camp on these kind of things. And what that does for me is it's a lot lighter than having to carry a giant tent. And in my opinion, it's a little bit more comfortable. So I would just set up, if I knew that the conditions were going to be right, the weather was going to be nice, and there were going to be good trees at the campsite, then I can go ahead and bring my hammock and my straps and get with my buddy and make sure he has one too. That way, instead of having to carry a big tent, we just carry our own separate hammocks. Other than the gear that you see here and that you've seen in the past things, that's actually going to be our crew gear. So our big pot of water and our little miniature stove. That's going to be something that we split between the actual crew that's there. So maybe somebody carries a deck of cards for the whole crew, but you're going to have you're going to have personal items, you're going to have buddy items like these that you're going to split between your buddies, and you're going to have stuff that you're going to have to carry for the crew. Alright, troop, there's my gear demo. So I hope to see a lot of y'all there. And again, don't freak out if you don't have all of this stuff. A lot of it you're going to maybe borrow from a buddy at the troop. If you have any further questions or information you want to add to this, go ahead and throw it on the group me. But this was what we were going to talk about tonight at the meeting, and since we can't have that, here's the information that you needed.